Mr. Stephen
Rondone.
Stephen Rondone from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And he's going to be talking to us about the job market, right? And also talking about the agency that he works for, what they do and what they do not do. And actually, I was telling him a couple of weeks ago, I was driving to work and I was listening to NPR, and I heard him talk about the job market, the future of the job market. So I think we're very fortunate to have him here to tell us a little bit more about the job market other than listening to him on radio. So thank you so much.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, as you know, I'm Steve Rondone. Those who have attended other types of sessions, I've been back here about 4 or 5 times in the last, 2 to 3 years. Either the Career Center, the job recruitment areas, so I've been around here. And that's what I base a lot of my questions or the PowerPoint on, because I remember several of the students hit me up and said to me, what does the BLS actually do? Do I even work here? A lot of folks thought I worked in DC and I flew down just for those sessions. So I thought about, I'm going to incorporate some of those questions into the PowerPoint. It may be basic for some, but it's knowledgeable for most, because the ultimate deal is for you folks to learn as much about the BLS, about the state of the economy here in Georgia and nationally, but also how could you get ahead of the curve and maybe get a job when you do graduate. Like for an example, how many folks here are seniors? Oh, a fair amount. Okay, good. So that's what I'm basing this on. Now here's my other question, which most of you have heard about the BLS and use our data. Do you know about the other programs besides the wage data? Yeah, we have programs like you wouldn't believe, this is why we do these things. This is why also I do a lot of TV and radio shots with the media here in the Southeast. So we could educate the students, career counselors, you name it, employers, employees. Employees and employers love us at the end of the day, and you're going to find out why. So that's my name, that's our number, that's the public information number here. If you want to send us an email, that's the email, but there's cards in the back and you'll get more information on that. Just for your information, the federal building where the BLS is right behind the MARTA station. We're on this corner, we're opposite corner. We're that 28-story building behind the MARTA. So the BLS, this is what we're going to cover, of course, the overview, which I'm going to go over. This is one of my favorite programs, which you're going to find out the reason why. The Outlook book, employment projections, the data, regional stats, and other questions. My background, before I go further, is I have a degree in economic geography. I have a master's in public administration. I also, for those on the finance side, I have a CFP certificate, Certified Financial Planning. So that's where my money instincts come from. And I also have a certificate from the University of St. Louis for Command Officer School, which I'll go into a little bit further on that one. So that's the areas we're going to cover, a little in a broad sense and some micro. This is always a favorite topic of mine. You guys are already way ahead of the curve because you folks are in school, you're in college. This is mainly also for those who are maybe freshmen. I do a lot of talks about in high schools. This is a year old, but you can get the picture. All right, education pays, and there's no lie. We have statistics monthly as well as annual average about the degree of education to wage data and unemployment. And as you could see at the bottom here, now this is a year ago, what it was compared to those with professionals and doctorate and master's degrees, as well as the earning capacities for that. So I'm sure most of you would want to be up here and up here instead of down here, especially down here for the wage data. So that's an eye-opener. That, as I said, is on. We update this yearly, this chart, but also for those who look at the employment situation, which is the first Friday, that's the unemployment report in plain English. They have a section for unemployment for education. Every month it's published. What do we do at the BLS? Well, we do a lot of things. It depends on the program, and I'm going to go over some of the programs shortly. But this is probably what you have seen in your studies, what we do. We do a lot of surveys. Majority of our data we get from surveys. Either the establishment survey, which you probably heard of, the household survey. A lot of people think that the unemployment rate, we go get all that data from when people file for unemployment insurance. That is not true at all. It has nothing to do with the unemployment rate. We get it from surveys. As you can see here, we do the economic trends, analyze the data. Depends, as I said, what programs. Those who work in the cubicles crunching numbers. We crunch numbers by using, for those who know SAS, a lot of programs. We use SAS, Access. I use the heck out of Excel, which is not a numbers crunching, but you'll see the reason why. A lot of these news releases, what you have seen going around here, my office, we do the public information news releases. All these folks who does the numbers crunching, it doesn't do any good if they stay in the cubicles and the numbers stay there. They send us, the writers, the information, and we broadcast that to the mass media. We write these news releases, we do presentations, we do special reports. When you're on our website, I'll show you areas what you really should be going to, especially as students. Why reinvent the wheel? There could have been some economist or statistician here locally in the regions or the national office which may have done a report what you're doing here in school. So you may want to look at our publications often. Because like I have done, we did reports in Kentucky for social workers, truck drivers in Tennessee, nursing in Florida, special reports for unemployment in metropolitan areas. And there's one going around for Nashville, which I did last year. Economic Analysis and Information Unit, that's the unit I work in. There's 4 of us. We cover the 8 states in the South, from Kentucky to the Carolinas to Florida. There's 4 of us. It really should say OPA, Office of Public Affairs. But because we do news releases and we crunch numbers, they decided to make it Economic Analysis. We do presentations. We answer the phones. We're one of the very few agencies where you could pick up the phone 9 to 12 and 1 to 4 at that public line what I gave you, and you're going to get a live body. If you wanted to know how to navigate the website, if you wanted to know where you could find wage data for economists or any other occupation, we could help you and navigate. If you were looking for a research project, we would have those publications. We could guide you to those areas. Media, right now we have about 720 media contacts in the Southeast that we send weekly notification of all the news releases and publications we send out. We write the news releases and we do the special projects, and we also attend conferences. We attend SHRM conferences, which is Society of Human Resource Managers, as well as Safety and Health and Risk Managers. So it's fun to get out of the office to go to like Orlando, Savannah. You know, it's nice to go to those places every now and then. This is our homepage. This should be very familiar for most of you. This is our main site. This you should have in your brain. The main site is always set up of the news releases that just came out. Special, we started about 2 years ago. We pump out through the national office special reports. Years ago they didn't do special reports. Now they do a lot of special reports. So for students that could be very important. And they archive them so you could go back and see, hey, within reason, because you're talking data, is anything that I've been doing in school, what could match that? So you want to look at here as well as the publications. Also the subject areas, you have a drop down here, and we're going to go to the next slide. I'll show you all the programs that we do here at the BLS. And for those who are interested in news releases and the economic data, what's coming out, the release calendar, that tells you what's coming for the next week. Here's the regional offices. A lot of folks thought that we just all worked out of DC. As you can see, there's regional offices. And you can see here, we're at Atlanta, the areas what we cover, New York, Chicago, Frisco. The reason why I'm showing you this, not just for you to look at for future employment, that if you ever wanted to work in Dallas, Chicago, Frisco, now you know, hey, BLS has an office there, and when jobs come out, you know that they're in those areas. But also, if you're trying to do a research project, and it's like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and you need to find out how to navigate to a site to find some data that you want to find. Of course, the Atlanta office is closed, but Frisco's open, so you could call them. So you got to think about the